I've noticed a whole lot of interest in my PTSD videos. And I just wanted to make sure that I was helping you get to the place that you need to be, or that maybe you deserve to be, should I say. And we're going to talk about how the physical and the mental work together and where you could be looking at more disability compensation. Stay tuned. All right, today we're going to talk about the connection between mental health, physical health, okay? Mental conditions, physical conditions. The big deal here is that mental health, PTSD, anxiety, depression, MST, all of it can have an impact on your physical health. You could be diagnosed with other things like GERD, migraines, sleep apnea, obesity, which leads to other things, hypertension. There's a number of things out there, and we're going to talk through some of those today. But those are secondary conditions to your PTSD if you have those diagnoses and if you think that you make the rating criteria. So let's just jump right in. Remember that a nexus between your mental health condition and your physical health condition is an absolute requirement. You cannot get your service connection added together in your secondary condition without having a good, solid nexus. I've been through this. I know how difficult it can be. Just bear with me and walk through this so that you can get some ideas of whether or not this is for you. So let's break down the rateability for some of these conditions, like hypertension. Hypertension has a diagnostic code of 7101, cardiovascular system. Okay, it's rated at 0, 10, 20, 40, or 60 based on blood pressure readings. But here's the deal. Hypertension is caused by anxiety. Hypertension can be aggravated by anxiety. It can be aggravated by depression. It can be completely aggravated by PTSD and MST, depending on how bad and severe your symptoms are. So start looking at that. If you meet the criteria in the 38 CFR, right? And you can look up in the M21 TAC 1 and make sure that you know how this is all rated. You could be looking at, like I said, 10, 20, 40, or 60% based on your blood pressure, just for hypertension. Next, we've got migraines. Migraines is a big one for people with PTSD. A lot of folks with PTSD have migraines. This is well documented throughout the medical industry. It is diagnostic code 8100, which is the neurological system. You could get 0, 10, 30, or 50%. All depends on frequency, severity, and duration, and treatment, how you treat those symptoms. Do some homework on migraines. They're very hard to prove, but once you've got them proved and connected and that nexus built up, it should be fairly easy for you to grab onto that and pull it in with your mental health. Sleep apnea, near and dear to my heart, quite honestly. I know that you know that I have sinus issues and drainage and all that stuff. You can hear it in my voice. I cough a lot. I do have sleep apnea, right? 6847 is a diagnostic code that is respiratory system. You can be rated at 0, 30, 50, and 100% for sleep apnea. 50% if you use a CPAP, right? 30% if there's hypersomnolence, but you're not using a CPAP. 0% if, hey, we admit that it's there, but you're not getting any kind of help and you're not showing a sleep study that's going to help get this done. Get a sleep study done if you think you have sleep apnea, okay? It's based on the sleep study and the diagnosis. It's not based on whether or not you use your CPAP. It's just based on whether or not you need one. Make sure that you take a look at that one. That one's a whole lot more fun to pursue because sleep apnea is a total pain in the rear end to try and prove, but you can get there if you want to, if you work at it hard enough. GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, acid reflux, GERD, right? It's rated under codes for hernia and esophageal strictures, 0, 10, 30, 50, and 80, depending on the severity of symptoms. I have GERD. It's controlled with medication. It's a 30%. It is what it is, right? Make sure you can connect it back to your mental health, again, if you're going for a secondary, because that's really important in making sure that you make that connection. I'm going to repeat that 100 times probably. All right, next one, IBS. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety. Anybody have anxiety and it messes your stomach up from time to time? Yeah, just like the rest of us, quite honestly. Some of us have it all the time. So diagnostic code 7319, which is digestive system, you can get rated at 10, 20, or 30% for IBS, depending on severity and frequency, like abdominal distress, diarrhea, surgical intervention. There's a number of things that you can actually go and get those things taken care of for you, and then connect them to your mental health, and there you go, more compensation. Cardiovascular disease and diabetes. This is an interesting one. I want you to pay attention. Diagnostic codes are different because one's endocrine and one's cardio. However, these are interesting. Diabetes ratings depend on the control required. Are you on medication? Are you just on diet? How was it caused? And saying that something caused your type 2 diabetes is a story you have to build a big storyline for. This caused this, caused this, caused diabetes. PTSD can cause diabetes, just so that you know. You can be in perfect shape. My grandfather was 101st Airborne, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and that guy was thin as a bone and he had type 2 diabetes. Do not count yourself out on this. You should probably get your blood sugars, your A1Cs checked. Take care of yourself, make sure that that works, right? Make sure that you are looking into everything possible that you could potentially get rated for. Go look at all the DBQs, make sure you understand. Go look at the, the 38 CFR, etc. ED, erectile dysfunction. ED itself is assigned 0% for compensation purposes. However, if it can be attributed and directly connected as a secondary condition to your mental health, you could be looking at special monthly compensation, SMC, SMCK to be specific. And that is for loss of an anatomical or creative organ, right? Make sure you look into these things. Take the time to go and see if you can connect the dots. If you need help connecting the dots, if you need help and you're looking for somebody to give you a free consultation, I am partnered with an organization that does that for you. There's an affiliate link in the description below. I do get paid, a little kickback or whatever you want to call it. I get paid an affiliate's payment for if you decide to sign up for their services and pay for their services. I don't want you to feel pressured. I'm just saying you could get a free consultation and see if they could possibly help you with these things. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Take care of each other. See ya.